Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, December 14, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please utilize the progress bar at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located in the comment section, as well as the video description, so that you can skip to the point in the video that you want to see the most, because we know that the videos over here on Weather Jamaica are very long, up to 30 to 50 minutes long. So I'd like for you to save time by utilizing those tools. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your year recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific era. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days hold in terms of what the Euro, that's the ECMWF, as well as the GFS are showing, because you know that we have to have consensus with what they're showing in order to be, you know, more, let's say, accurate with the forecast for sure. So we're going to be focusing our attention right here at the timestamp at the top. We're just going to be going out to the next 168 hours. So first of all, we can still see the moisture and the isobars associated with that broad area of spin, that low pressure right here to the north of Hispaniola. And if we take a look back excuse me, at the infrared satellite images, you can actually see the spin is definitely right here, and it's bringing some amount of thunderstorm activity to portions of the Dominican Republic as we speak. So let us see what's going to be happening as we go out in time. So as we head into Sunday, we see that there's going to be some moisture coming into northeastern Jamaica still. You also see a lot of moisture right here to the east of the island for sure. Lots of moisture affecting eastern Cuba, northern Cuba, section of the Dominican Republic, the waters to the north of Puerto Rico, and the eastern Caribbean. Heading into Monday, we still see that there's going to be some amount of rainfall plaguing the island. And it could definitely be heavier than what we receive on Sunday for sure. Heading into Tuesday, there's still some amount of rainfall lingering in and around the island. But we see that as we head into Wednesday, there's definitely more whites across Jamaica, which indicate more in the way of sunshine, if not partly cloudy skies. Thursday, something similar. Heading into Friday, we still see a lot more whites. We see isobars starting to come in more so from the north to indicate more of that northerly flow. And we're going to be stopping right there at the end of the next 7 days. So this is valid for 12Z on Saturday, December 21. And we can see Jamaica right here, just with some slight shades of green across the northern portion of the island. We see a lot of moisture across the southwestern Caribbean, the waters to the immediate north of the ABC Islands, as well as portions of Puerto Rico, as well as the US and British Virgin Islands. But what does the GFS model show? Let us see what's taking place here. So we see the huge area of moisture associated with that broad trough, that spin, affecting portions of Hispaniola as we speak. We know all of this moisture represents all the way from 1 all the way to 5 inches of rainfall. Heading into Monday, now we start to see some of this rainfall definitely coming into portions of Jamaica. Definitely some heavy rainfall, especially across eastern Jamaica. This is 18th on Monday, December 16. That's 1 p.m. We see all of the rainfall, especially across eastern Jamaica for sure. Heading into Tuesday, we see that there's still some amount of lingering rainfall in and around the island. But just like what the Euro was showing, clearly there's going to be less rainfall. We see more whites across Jamaica around Wednesday as well as into Thursday. Friday, we see the rainfall across northern Jamaica. Saturday, something similar. We're going to be stopping it right there at 18Z on Saturday, December 21. So clearly, we have some similarities in terms of what the next 7 days hold, as well as some differences. We know these things go, so we have to stay updated to see exactly what unfolds. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast from the Weather Nerd site, this map is showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Saturday, December 21. We can see the dark reds into the purples represent a lot of rainfall that's going to be in store for a portion of the Dominican Republic, the waters to the north of the Eastern Caribbean, sections of Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia might get in on some of the action. We also see some rainfall in store for portions of Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, maybe sections of Guyana, northwestern Panama, Costa Rica, southeastern Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, and northeastern Guatemala cannot catch a break. They've been getting rainfall since November. And we can also see eastern Florida and portion of northern Bahamas getting in on some of that. Excuse me. And if we also take a look at what the GFS is showing, we see something similar regarding the rainfall, especially across Belize, right here across the Dominican Republic, southeastern Nicaragua. We're talking about sections of Costa Rica, sections of Panama. We also see Guyana in the mix. So clearly they're gonna be getting on some amount of rainfall. We know the dark reds into the purples and the pinks represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 5 inches of rainfall. So they're definitely gonna be getting on some moisture over the next 7 days. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast over the next 7 days, featuring the close-up of Jamaica here, not much change. Clearly the northeastern portion of the island are still in for a lot of rainfall. We see the greens into the yellows that represents all the way up to close to 46 millimeters of rainfall here on the GFS. The Euro showing something similar for sure. And we know these things go, some of this rainfall across the northeast could definitely spill into sections of some southern parishes. So look out for that. And just know that all of this rainfall is not going to be happening all at once. It's just going to be spread out over the next 7 days. So it's going to be on and off. There are going to be breaks. You're going to have sunshine. We're going to have wind, clouds here and there for sure, especially across those northeastern parishes. You know, we're talking about St. Anne, St. Mary and Portland. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a frontal system right here and a trough that is induced across western Florida. We also see a cold front right here stretching all the way down to the northeast of the Bahamas. We also have a trough right here. Well, this is the main trough that we've been watching with the huge broad area of low pressure right here that's now spinning its way into the Dominican Republic. And we also see another trough right here across the northeastern section of North Atlantic right here to the northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, we can definitely make out the spin associated with a broad area of low pressure right here into portions of Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic. We see a lot of thunderstorms right here to the north of the Eastern Caribbean. We can see the clouds associated with numerous frontal systems, lots of troughing taking place right here across the southeastern United States. The other trough that we just highlighted right here to the northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands across the northeastern portion of North Atlantic. Excuse me. Either way, we'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday. By the way, before we do that, let us take a closer look. Looking at the infrared. I haven't seen this in a long time. Some thunderstorms. We can definitely see it affecting portions of the Dominican Republic, section of northern Haiti getting on some of the action. I mean, look at these sparkling white dots. All of these are indicative of some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Definitely lashing the Dominican Republic as we speak. And the thing about this trough is that it is pushing towards the southwest, so it's gonna be affecting Jamaica over the next 24 to 48 hours for sure. So Jamaica could definitely get in on some of the thunderstorm activity, especially as we head into late Sunday as well as Monday. Alright, so we'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, December 14, 2024. It was stated that rain, cool and windy conditions were in the forecast for parts of northern Jamaica last night into Saturday morning. and it was stated that some of these conditions could spill into sections of some southern parishes. So basically the same forecast that was made the day before, definitely still valid for Saturday for sure. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While southern parishes, I know we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? As early as 11:05 a.m. Well, that's a bit late. So it was some late morning satellite imagery that was posted here on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page or Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page or weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page or Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page or Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So looking at the visible satellite images that were posted, we can very well see that northeasterly flow into the island for sure, definitely bringing more in the way of overcast skies, if not some isolated showers still to sections of Portland, St. Mary. Some of this might even have been spilling to sections of St. Anne. Clearly we can see southern parishes getting in on more in the way of clear skies and sunny weather, and we can see it all even better here on the visible close-up satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down. Let us look at it before the sun went down. So let's start this over. Alright, so here we go. So by around this evening into the late hours, we can definitely see that we're still getting on that moist northeasterly flow, but not much in the way of cloud cover or rainfall at all. We see some clouds stringing out over the Trelawney area, spilling into section of eastern Westmoreland, but that was just about it. It was definitely clearing out for the most part on Saturday evening, but we can see the flow. That's some strong northeasterly flow right there, especially to the east of the island. And we spoke about this with the strong winds to the east of the island regarding the windy forecast in yesterday's video. Even the infrared close-up satellite images showing what we just saw, just that northeasterly flow still taking place. And if we take a look here at the Barbican cam, we can see that around 15:32, we know that's 3:32 p.m. we're definitely getting in on some fair weather, nothing too bad in terms of bad weather, not much in the way of cloud cover or rainfall. You can definitely see the sunshine across the hills of St. Andrew right there to the northwest. Well, we can see that was definitely some partly cloudy skies in the Barbican area at that time. And we know these things go. Not much in the way of rainfall, but we might have had a lot of rainfall across the hills of St. Andrew for sure. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can definitely see where it rained today, especially across sections of some northern parishes, especially Portland for sure. We see these colors, inland areas of Portland for sure. Maybe sections of St. Anne and St. Mary might have gotten a sprinkle or two. And we have at least one comment here on our Instagram page confirming what was taking place, considering what was predicted. We had Rose.B.W stating cool and windy now, loving it in her area for sure. So that indeed confirms what was predicted. Most people are saying that it's been feeling a lot like Christmas with all of the cool and windy conditions for sure. And I'm sure that we're indeed grateful considering the very hot year that we've been having since spring, since March of this year for sure. Taking a look at the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, let us see what's happening right now. Alright, I think we can make out some milky whitish colors that represent some cloud cover across sections of Portland and St. Mary. Who knows, maybe they're getting on some isolated shores as we speak up there. If you live in those parishes, let me know what's taking place. Either way, in terms of the Cuban Doppler radar images, let's see if we can match out anything here with what's happening on the infrared. Alright, we definitely can. So we just highlighted the cloud cover across the northeast, and here we have some rainfall. We see the blues into the greens that represent some moderate, that's moderate rainfall right here across the waters to the north of Portland, to the northeast of St. Mary. Excuse me. And I'm pretty sure that some of this has already made it into the island. We're talking about Portland and St. Mary already, and looks like there's more to come for sure. Taking a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar imagery, you can definitely make out some isolated showers across eastern Cuba and western peninsula of Haiti. You can also make out some of this rainfall pushing from northeast to southwest into portions of northeastern Jamaica as we speak. Taking a look at the Cayman radar, not seeing much of anything happening across the Cayman Islands or the water surrounding it right now. But if we take a look at the very latest, showing the halfway tree cam. By the way, I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube and subscribe today so that you don't miss out, because they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. Alright, so we can definitely see that not much is taking place. Kind of hard to see with all of these headlights on, but either way we know it's definitely fair conditions as we speak. Not much in the way of bad weather or cloudy conditions at all. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for around 18 on Sunday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Sunday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some gray colors and some slight yellow colors. That we know represents average to slightly above average temperatures right here. And we know the average temperatures for the month of December across Jamaica are around the same as 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And when 87 degrees Fahrenheit is converted to degrees Celsius, we're talking about 30.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving that, if not maybe a little bit over that, maybe 30 to 31 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on a Sunday. And if it's going to be a bit too hot for you, it could be exacerbated if you live in these areas, because according to my JPS Online's Twitter page, there's gonna be a maintenance outage out for Montpelier, Sandy Bay, Hopewell in Hanover for Sunday, December 15 at around 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way. We know that the power outage can definitely cause us to feel even hotter than normal, given the fact that we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. And if we have plans for tomorrow like ironing or washing with a washing machine, we know that with a power outage like this, it could definitely cause some issues. So let them know what's to come. And if it's gonna be a bit too hot for you tomorrow, we have some tips here to beat the heat as usual. When you're outside, seek shade. Try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always keep hydrated. Put away the sugary drinks, drink a lot of water instead throughout the day. If we take a look at the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we see that there's a lot of moist air in the blues, especially where we have that trough. I mean, you can definitely see the outline of the trough with all of the moist air right here across the water surrounding Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, section of the Eastern Caribbean, getting on some of that. But the driest areas across the northern portion of North Atlantic, right here off the east coast of the US, surrounding the Bahamas, surrounding Jamaica, the southwestern Caribbean, as well as the Gulf of Mexico. Lots of dry air there, definitely making it hard for rainfall to take place. But all of this moist air across Hispaniola is pushing towards the southwest. So Jamaica is going to be getting on some amount of rainfall as we head into, especially late Sunday into Monday. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Sunday, we can see that all of that dust that we saw definitely dwindling, just a little speck of it right here. That's where it's going to be expected on Tuesday across section of the ABC Islands, the waters of the Eastern Caribbean, and section of Venezuela. But that's not a vigorous plume. That's barely going to even be noticeable. We see most of the Saharan dust right here across the waters of the eastern portions of the main development region right there. And we're indeed glad that we're not seeing a vigorous plume. We know the vigorous plume is represented by the dark shades of browns. And we know the dark shades of browns can definitely cause, the hazy skies, not to mention trigger a certain amount of respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS are adamant that the highest waves should be across the waters to the east of Florida, to the east of the Bahamas, to the north of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. We see the purples into the burgundies that represent anywhere from 2 all the way up to 6 meter wave heights. While the waters in and around the Caribbean, in and around Jamaica, we see the light shades of blues, the dark shades of blues that we know represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave heights. The waters around Jamaica to the north, 1.1 meter wave heights, to the south, 0.8 meter wave heights right there. And that's because the winds across the Caribbean won't be that strong at all. We see it coming in from the east, curving northward into that broad area of spin that's going to be located across Haiti tomorrow for sure. We can definitely make out that area of low pressure somewhere in here for sure. Definitely going to be bringing more northeasterly flow into Jamaica. But clearly we see the light shades of green. So that's about 5 to 10 knot winds for the Eastern Caribbean all the way to Dominican Republic. While to the west of the area of low pressure, we're going to be having that northeasterly flow. We're talking about anywhere from 10 all the way to 25 knots, especially where we have the yellows, the northern Bahamas, eastern Florida, into the western portion of Cuba. We're talking about some strong winds, and that explains the high wave heights that we saw in those spots. But regarding the close-up of Jamaica, we see the northeasterly flow that's still gonna be expected for sure. So as usual, we're gonna be having that relief rainfall, all of that moist air causing condensation and rainfall, especially in the hills of Portland, maybe even spilling into St. Anne, maybe even spilling into section of some southern parishes. And we also see that there's gonna be less winds on the south coast, and given the fact that there's a trough in the area, it could definitely moisten up our atmosphere and bring forth some afternoon convection. We haven't been getting much of that on the south coast recently, but it definitely could be possible for sure on Sunday afternoon, if not on Monday. So look out for that afternoon rainfall. If you have clothes that need washing or whatever the case may be, get ready for some rainfall and ensure that their laundry is done early. Excuse me. If we take a look at the wind shear forecast, we see the wind shear coming in from the west southwest. Could definitely favor more of that rainfall on the north coast. But sure, let us see exactly what unfolds. We know the upper level winds can definitely blow those high cold cloud tops towards the east northeast, bring more overcast skies to the northern portion of the island, if not some isolated shores. Let us see how it all unfolds if we get some amount of deep convection. But regarding the rainfall forecast, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 9 a.m. on Sunday, December 15. And we can see the consensus for rainfall. Where do we see it? Across sections of Portland, St. Anne, and St. Mary. Euro definitely more robust than the GFS with the rainfall, with the darker shades of blues right here. The GFS not so robust, but we see the consensus for some rainfall for sure. Even the afternoon forecast, this is 3 p.m. on Sunday, and we see the rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes, and we also see it across sections of some southern parishes for sure. The GFS a bit more robust, especially across the eastern section of the island. I live in the east. Let me see exactly what unfolds for Sunday afternoon. Looking to be a wet afternoon for sure. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. But that's that northeasterly flow that's going to be bringing that rainfall. Even as we head into 6 p.m., we'll still see that eastern Jamaica is going to be plagued by some amount of rainfall. We see the blues, especially across the waters to the east of the island. Very interesting forecast for sure. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are showing a lot of rainfall, especially across the waters to the east of the island. The usual northeasterly rainfall or northeastern parishes rainfall. We're talking about St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. So some of all of this could definitely spill into sections of some southern parishes. We see the euro definitely a bit more robust than the GFS, up to 0.41 of an inch of rainfall across Portland, up to 0.27 of an inch of rainfall across sections of Portland on the GFS. Either way, we're in the dry season. We're in the month of December. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. That's about 1 inch of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 4 inches of rainfall. That's around maybe 90 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the year in terms of rainfall, you can visit this website. That's www.weather-and-climate.com, and they'll show you what your parish receives. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall that's received on the rain gauge from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a lot of clouds, showers and thunderstorms, especially to the north of the eastern Caribbean, associated with that broad trough. You can see a lot of that rainfall coming into portion of the Dominican Republic as we speak. We can also see some amount of rainfall, especially to the east of the Windward Islands. Lots of that being sheared off towards the east-northeast. Some of this rainfall definitely affecting portions of the water surrounding Grenada. Section of northeastern South America getting on their usual rainfall. We're talking about Suriname, French Guyana, eastern Venezuela, sections of western Colombia, Nicaragua, sections of Honduras, Belize, northeastern Guatemala getting on some of that too. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's see what's happening over here. We can definitely make out that Dominican Republic definitely getting in on some wet weather as we speak. 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can see some ice stage shores affecting sections of southern Puerto Rico. The waters in and around the Leeward Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, to the north of Antigua and Barbuda, definitely getting on some amount of rainfall as we speak. And if we load these images from earlier today, we can definitely make out that flow from the southeast around that broad area flow pressure. The low pressure should be somewhere right in here to the north of the Dominican Republic, and we can see that southeasterly flow definitely got some rainfall, some moderate to heavy rainfall across southern Puerto Rico today. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can make out that rainfall that we saw across St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well as Grenada earlier. We can also see some of that rainfall right here to the east of Tobago, affecting Trinidad as we speak, not seeing much affecting Barbados right now. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall pushing in from the east and affecting sections of southern Florida, section of Belize getting on their fair share of rainfall, so too northeastern Guatemala and northern Honduras, sections of southeastern Nicaragua. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are about showing all the rainfall expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And not much change, clearly. Eastern Florida, the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, eastern and northern Cuba, section of eastern Jamaica, section of the Cayman Islands, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, St. Bart, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, sections of Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, eastern and southern Venezuela, Guyana right there. You can also see some rainfall in store for sections of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, southeastern Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, as well as northern Guatemala. I know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.